You can't park there. You can't park there.
Yeah, just see my dance. My dance moves. No worries. Go down there now, dear boy. I'm finishing off. I'm up here in headquarters painting. Yeah, no, close down door. Alright, go on. Oh, shit. Woo! How's she cutting, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? How are we getting on? I'm up here now, headquarters, uprange headquarters, doing a bit of painting, you know? Having a majestic cup of tea. Now I'm going to show you what not to do when you're doing a bit of DIY at home. So Karen is going to explain to us what you shouldn't do if you are ever doing a bit of DIY at home. So take it away, Karen. Right lads, reasons why a Karen should never do any DIY or any kind of painting at home, alright? So here we have Karen. And Karen is doing a bit of painting, as you can clearly see. And we can point out a few mistakes straight away here now. So I want you to notice this now. What do you notice about Karen and what she's doing here? If you were painting now, what can you see wrong with this picture? One, most likely, you'll be thinking, that's most likely glass Karen is in her hand, because she's painting around the architrave and she's painting around the edges, okay? So, what looks like to be white glass, and she has it in a tray. Now, in fairness, she should have that in a paint tin, holding the tin in her hand, as she dips the brush into the tin and gets out the glass. Because that's for rolling walls, that is not for dipping into and painting glass. Reasons being, you'll see why in a minute. So basically anyway, Karen has made a couple of mistakes here, right? One, she has no drip sheet on the ground, no covers, no throws nowhere. Now when you're dealing with glass, you should always have drip sheets on the ground or any paint, because once paint gets into the ground, the longer it stays there, the harder it is for you to remove it. And glass is very stubborn, okay? And it doesn't want to move. So basically, she should have drip sheets around there, and that leather sofa should be covered also. You know, anywhere you're painting with white glass especially, or any paint, but especially glass, you have to put paint covers, alright? Paint sheets, drip sheets, call them what you like sheets, alright? So Karen's made a couple of mistakes here already. One, she's stretching right to the max, and you can see the way her body's twisted. She's bending around, right? So this foot is not doing much for her. She's pivoting on that toe there, right? And she's extended to the max, as you can see. She's on her tippy toes. So she's pivoting on her left leg here. So her right leg is really doing nothing, barely balancing her, right? So it's not supporting her in any way at all. She's pivoting on that, she has no support on that, and she's stretching. Now, most likely, if things go wrong, and things can go wrong, like when you're painting and when you're on a ladder, you know, you could slip, you could move, the ladder could move, shake a bit. So you need to be steady on your feet. You most definitely don't need to be doing this, right? And not with glass. That should be in a tin. As I said, you'll see why in a minute. So, she's painting away anyway, as we can see. So, we have a couple of things pointed out. She should have the ladder closer to the wall. She shouldn't be angled and twisted the way she is. Her whole body's off. That glass paint should be inside in the paint tin. She should definitely have a better foothold, and it should be paint sheets, spread sheets, drip sheets all over the floor and around the sofa settee, okay? Now, my man here have a gun, and he's aiming it at Mama Dink, and he looks like he's going to shoot her in the butt with one of them air guns. Now, my son have them as well, and he's about his age, and you shoot them things, and there's very little power in them. They pop out, you know what I mean? They hit you. You wouldn't feel nothing. You barely know it hit you at all, alright? And you can see the speed of this little projectile. It kind of just lobs out and falls. It doesn't even hit her hard, right? He's aiming there. It hits around there, but barely hits her, right? Now, of course, as we all know, Karens can be over dramatic, alright? They really get carried away with the slightest little thing, okay? Like if they got stung by a needle, you swear they got a slap for truck. So things like that, right? So this little young fella most likely said, look Ma, she probably wrecked his head that morning. That's why he has that aiming at her there like that, right? And God knows where the father is. You know, he's probably got, Karen's probably kicked him out and said, look, I don't need a man. Right. Fucking don't give a rat's ass. This is it. I'm in here to get fit. I'm in here to the gym. I'm going to knock the fat off them arms. It's the last thing I do. But first, I'm going to show you how to knock out your teeth. See, there you go. Onto the ground with the two teeth. Not a bother. and she's rearing the young fella on his own. I'm not saying that's what it is, but a lot of shit goes down like that, and the little kid is a bit resentful. She gave him rough this morning because she's not happy with herself and her husband is gone or whatever reason. But so anyway, so my man decides, look, I'm going to fire a shot into her back and see what happens, what the reaction is. Now, any other person would do nothing because you can't even feel it. But being a good Karen, she's about to fuck up the whole house. And that young fella's about to get the fright of his life, God love him. What should be a simple little act, when he does this, now, you can see it barely hit her in the arse, right, and it fell down. Now that gives her no reason to stop painting, right? You can see she's not wounded, she's still there painting, although her hand is moved over there because, again, I can't. So, instead of her just turning around now if she wanted to, which she shouldn't even bother, but put the paint up there and say, son, be careful with that, you know what I mean, son, because I'm doing a bit of painting. I know you're only having the crack and all, but because my own fella does it as well, be messing. I say, you're not having the crack, but be careful, my boy. Right? That's what she should have said. If anything, I would have just laughed, looked around, started laughing at him and said, do it again. But no, this Karen had to take this to the fucking extreme, and I feel sorry for that kid. There's a scream now. The thing is on the ground, so this is a delayed reaction. This is just out of pure bitterness, right? Some kind of sickness, right? But there's a scream. Boom! Instead of her now putting her hand onto the ladder and putting the paint over there, she watch the way she brings her back in and still stays on her tops of her toes. No need for that. This is just ridiculous. I feel sorry for that young fella. She gets a face full of it anyway. Look, boom. There you go. Because what happens is, if you had that in the painting, that most likely wouldn't have happened, Joe. None of that should have happened. That is over dramatic, right? That young fella is in the shit. God love him. But here's a face full of paint for the over dramatic freaking nature Karen. The young fella, God love him. My heart goes out to him. He's fucking God love him. Look, he'd know what to do. Look, and listen to the screams of this rat. I can only picture what the poor young fella had to go through after all that shit. Right? Now, if she had kept that ladder against the wall properly, had the paint in a tin and stopped being a miserable bitch, none of that would have happened. Feel sorry for that young fella. His fortune's only about 8 or 9. And look at that, a dirty moped. A moped. Perfect. Now, here's the perfect posture there, as I was explaining to you. You see the way she went melodramatic. She somehow or other was able to straighten her back dead straight and fuck all the paint up on top of her own face, all over the couch. Despite, I can't see any love in her for that young fella. I feel sorry for that young fella. And a lot of young fellas grow up like that in single parent homes where the father's gone. And the mothers then are bitter and they're angry and they're snappy and they're snotty. And the poor children in there fucking suffer the most to do. And then they grow up with problems, probably turn to drink, might even turn to drugs. God knows what had happened to them. But a lot of it stems from your childhood. When you're that age, your mind needs protected. Your father has to be there to protect that mind of yours. It's so easy influenced with negativity and fucking misery that this one is dishing out to the poor kid. So, you know, fathers of the world, if you hear my voice, know this. Children, little girls and little boys, they need their fathers. So if you happen to be with a woman who's like this, an out and out bitch, right? Don't abandon your son or your daughter. No matter what she says about you, you'll be surprised if you go to court and you're telling the truth will prevail. Even though it feels like at the beginning, everyone are down on your back. It feels like the guards are on your back, the social services are on your back, the system are on your back. You feel like it's all down on you and it feels like an unmerciful weight to carry around with you. That's if you can even get to see your children in the meantime. But if you can stay strong, you have to stay strong for your children. You just think of your children. That'll keep you staying strong. What you need to do to protect them from a wicked bitch like this. Alright? That's what you need to do. And then when you get to the court, you'll see your rights will start bubbling to the top. Okay? But you have to stay strong to protect your children. Or else they will be living with a fucking freak like this one. They're screaming. Look at that. She's everything in her power, she's doing that to scare that young fella, to put the fear of fucking that witch into his little heart. That's what she's doing. That's what she's doing. Evil knows no boundaries, alright? Remember that? And lads, look, for God's sake, look out for your children, you know? If you're not with them, make contact with your children. Do everything you can to protect your children when they're young, or they haven't a fucking hope, because there's more and more of these on the scene on a daily basis. I'm going to knock the fat off them arms. It's the last thing I do. But first, I'm going to show you how to knock out your teeth. See, there you go. Onto the ground with the two teeth. Not a bother.